Hey guys, welcome back to Ed's Garage How-To channel. Today, something a little different. I have well, it's an Armstrong furnace, but it has a Lennox blower motor in it. And it has a bad resistor. This is a fairly common issue, but Lennox decided that they would cover the entire inside of the motor controller with silicone, making the replacement of the blown resistor extremely difficult. Now this module is over $1,000, so I'm not willing to just call it quits and replace the module. I'm gonna still try to replace that resistor, and the reason I'm doing this video is because if I'm successful and this helps somebody replace their own resistor with a similar issue, then great, we'll save somebody some money. The resistor is cheap. You can get these for literally dollars on Amazon or eBay or whatever. So I'd rather do that than, spend $1,000+ to replace this stupid module. So this is on the top of the blower motor. If you've found this video, it's probably because you have the exact same issue. But basically, yeah, this sits on the blower motor. You pull it off with a couple of bolts, and then the whole thing comes out really easily. So there it is right there. You can see it's already cracked here. It's kind of spewed its guts all over this coil here. So it definitely needs to be replaced, and there's silicone all around it, like this whole thing. So yeah, I'm gonna have to dig this out, or I have a theory that maybe I can cut a hole in the bottom here and then get to the solder points and just pull it out, pop a new one in and resolder it. I think that might be my best solution. And then of course, just, cover that up with something. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, because then at least I can get to the bottom of this circuit board. All right, so I've gone ahead and marked off the location of the resistor on the bottom here. So now I'm gonna cut a hole in here. I'm just gonna use a Dremel style tool to cut that hole. What the heck is that? More silicone. Yay. All right, I'll dig that out, get it back to you. All right, I have dug out all of the silicone that was in there, and I noticed something that kind of caught me by surprise. So these two right here, this one and this one, are for the resistor. And look, there's no solder. There's nothing. What the hell? This one you can quite clearly see it is soldered on. This one is not soldered, and this is most definitely for that resistor. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and desolder the pin that actually has solder on it, and then we'll pull out that resistor, see if I got another one that'll work. Okay, it's a couple days later, and I got a little package in the mail. So I got these on Amazon, and I actually decided to go with a slightly larger version of the thermistor. So it's not a resistor. I've been calling it a resistor. It is a resistor, but basically it resists voltage when it's cold, and then as it heats up, it reduces the amount of power that it resists. Anyway, yeah, don't mind the 3D printer. Just finished, actually. I'm working on another project at the same time. Anyway, so after doing some research, I've determined that these thermistors, they're used as inrush current limiters. So basically every time the motor turns on, these kind of limit how much power goes to that motor, so that it doesn't kind of, I'm struggling here with one hand. I'm gonna put the phone down. So that it doesn't kind of send a whole bunch of power to the motor right away. Because what will happen is you kind of get like think about when you first turn on a garden hose, especially if it's hot out, you turn it on and you get that kind of initial burst of power from your water hose, and then it kind of calms down and goes back to normal. So this is the size of the original thermistor. This is the size of the new one. This one can handle more current or more power. I'm not sure if it can handle more voltage or more current, but it doesn't matter. It'll still fit. So what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and put it in there and solder the leads and then test it out. So the thermistor that I pulled out was a 1 ohm thermistor. Ordinarily would have been marked 1D-20 because it was 20 millimeters across. This one is 1D-25. It's an extra 5 millimeters in diameter. So let's see if I can line this up here. And there's plenty of room in here for this one too. So that's the nice thing. So just got to kind of get it in there. Again, more of a two-handed job. Okay, I'm gonna get in close here and show you what I've got. I managed to get the thermistor in place. I'm gonna put a little dab of some flux on there. Flux is like a acid paste to kind of clean it up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and solder some new solder on there. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So those leads are poking through really far, which is good. I'll snip them off afterwards. I'm not gonna suck the thermistor all the way down. I'm gonna kind of leave it up a little bit, kind of out of that silicone. Oops, sorry, not on it. I'm gonna leave it out of that silicone because I want it to be a little bit more cooled off. It doesn't need to be quite so dense in that silicone. All right, so I'll go ahead and solder those points on, and I'll show you what that looks like afterwards. Yeah, first we need to put a little tiny dab of that on there, just to keep it nice and clean. And the solder will stick a little nicer too. All right, as you can see, soldered back in there. It's a little dirty in there still from that silicone, but the solder points are good. They're solid, and lots of room around the thermistor there for a little bit of extra air cooling. So now it's a matter of getting this reinstalled and testing it out. I've decided not to fill this up with silicone under the expectation that it will eventually fail again. Possibly, maybe not. But if it does, it'll be a lot easier for the future person who's repairing this to repair it. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape over that hole, some Gorilla tape. That should do a fine job. Okay. Oh, look, it works. What a surprise. All right, not sure if you can hear it, but it is currently spinning fast enough to transfer about 1,100 cubic feet per minute. Variability is working great. It's actually speeding up now even more. So it's kind of cool. There's a little light on here that flashes for every 100 cubic feet per minute. So we're going to see what it flashes at here in a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So currently spinning at 1400 cubic feet per minute. So this furnace is fixed. I have no more error lights. It's pumping out heat. Everything's working great. Well, there you go, guys. That's how you can do a $1,000 repair, $1,000+ repair for $5. So I do want to quickly call out the expert HVAC technicians that commented on a Facebook post that I made recently. That NTC is not a MOV, it's an NTC. It's a negative temperature something or other, I can't remember the acronym. It's a thermistor. It stops all power when it's broken. It doesn't work. It will not pass anything. And it will start off resisting power and then allowing full power once it warms up a little bit. That's how these work. That's just what it does. So no, you can't just ignore it, because without it, your motor will not spin, as you saw. Now it works great, just having replaced that one little thing. Another person said, oh, you should just hardwire it. That's a terrible idea, unless you want to destroy your motor really, really quickly. So no, don't do that either. And then another person said, oh, you should just replace the whole motor. That's the easiest way to fix these. Arguably, it's not, and also it costs significantly more money to do that. Maybe if you're an HVAC technician and that's what you do for a living and you want to make a quick buck, sure, but this wasn't that hard. It was easy to replace, easy to do. All in all, the total amount of labor was probably a half an hour. I've never done this before. I had to learn on the fly, and it was an easy repair. So if you're an HVAC technician and you replace an entire motor assembly just for that, that's not cool. That's why I enjoy doing repairs myself. That's why I have this channel. Hopefully this helped you out in some way. If it did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're an HVAC technician and you've done this before, good on you for not, going the easy way and replacing the whole motor. And if you're one of those HVAC technicians that's going to be like, oh yeah, but now your motor's still only going to last 5 years and then you're going to need to replace it anyway. So then I got another 5 years out of it. Kept it out of a landfill for another 5 years. Hell, even if it lasts another year, even if I have to replace this thing 10 times, I will continue to do so. Because quite frankly, it's not difficult to do. It doesn't cost a lot of money and works great now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Till next time, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any comments. Take care.